Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Lighting Up Your Life with Lisa podcast, where we will discuss the human mind, body, and soul, and how to elevate ourselves to the next level of healing, wellness, and holistic health, wealth, and happiness. I am your host, Lisa Tabando, RMT and Bioenergetics Certified Facilitator. Y'all ready? Let's go. Hi, everybody, and welcome. It's me, Lisa T, Positive Energy. I'm super excited because today is the debut of season 1 of Light Up Your Life with Lisa podcast. Yes. So this is going to be where I will be answering all the questions that have come to me over the years, questions that people call me about, that message me about, direct message me about, or that comment on these videos. I'm going to do my best to answer all of your questions, which I so much appreciate, by the way. Thank you for always trusting me to guide you and to help you. So let's get right into it. Dive in deep. And please also keep your questions coming. I appreciate them. So comment, send me a DM. I'm always going to do my best to get to all of them. And just thank you for the honor and privilege of you allowing me to be part of your healing journey and your journey to health, wealth, and happiness. Okay, so let's get right into it. So the first comment or question is one that's come to me so many times over my decade as an RMT. People who are 50, 30, 40 will often come to me. It's usually on the first time, and they say something like, well, I know it's because I'm old that I'm feeling these aches and pains. Okay, so let's debunk that right out of the gates. I guess it's a conditioning. It's a belief system. We're inundated with messages, that enter our subconscious. We come into this life and, we get our parents' messages, and then we get our school system messages, and then we get the structures and the systems. We get all these systems. We get their messages that are already in the world. And we want to make sure that we fact check the reality of these things. And so people will say, well, I've turned 30, I'm getting old. Well, no. And yes, there is the actual fact that, as children or as young adults, we're not feeling these aches and pains. Well, that's because the accumulation has not gotten to a point, and we are not taught in our, elementary school system how important it is to take care of our body. So I always liken a body to a car. I like to do that. It's very similar to a car. So when you get a new car, that's what happens. When we're a child, we have a new car, this vehicle that takes us through life. It's new. So of course it doesn't need new spark plugs and new tires and new brake pads right out of the gates. Of course not, because it hasn't been used a lot. Now, if we're taught right away to take care of our car, we're going to hear subtle noises, and we're going to be like, oh, I need new brake pads, or maybe I need an oil change. Maybe the engine is sounding a little weird. We're going to be, if we're taught to really take care of our car, we're going to be vigilant about listening for when little things are going wrong so we can fix it before there's a big problem. When it comes to the body, for some reason we're not taught this. They'd rather teach us math and history and science, which are all good things, but also it's no good to know these things about math and history and science that's going to take me somewhere in my life if this body won't take me there in my life. So we got to take care of ourselves. We got to take care of this body. Because over time, so as a child, we haven't used it enough for it to start to need a new set of brake pads. But if we're taking care of it along the way, we have to be proactive about our body. So when we're taking care of it along the way, then these little things don't turn into big things like a hip replacement or a knee replacement. So the good news about that is the body isn't a car. It's actually not a car, and its primary purpose or primary goal, the body's primary goal would be survive. Secondly, it'll be to heal. That's what the body wants to do. It wants to heal. It wants to regenerate. That's how cells are designed. That's how this whole system is designed. So the good news is when we can start now. We can start today taking really good care of our body. If we haven't done it along our whole lives, then it's going to be a big process at the beginning, but it doesn't take long. I always ask my clients just to commit 7 days. Just give me 7 days of continuous daily stretching and self-care. And after 7 days, you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, I feel so much better. And I asked for that 7 days because I'm hoping that in that 7 days, you'll get that woo of, wow, this really works, and then continue the process. Now we're humans, and we're gonna fall back on our laurels, is a saying. So meaning we're gonna do something, and we start to feel good about it, and then we stop doing the thing that was getting us to feel good because we think we've arrived. We've got to continuously take care of this body. This is your temple. This is the one thing. You're not gonna. I mean, you can get a new hip, but trust me, there can be complications with that. I had a client in the last couple of weeks that's come to me as a new client, and this person got major back surgery and now is having complications after that, and because he was in chronic pain for his whole life, from his childhood years into his adulthood. And so they said, well, let's just, get in there and cut it out and put some rods in and stuff. And I actually, when I first met him, I broke in tears because I thought, oh, I wish he would have come see me first. And he had seen physios and chiros and all these things. He'd been on the journey of trying to get help, and then they resulted in surgery. And within one session, some of his back pain had started to alleviate. The chronic, non-stop back pain had started to be intermittent for him, and now we're in a process. So hopefully to avoid this second surgery that they've said, well, you need a second surgery. So my point of that share is that we can start today. We can start today taking care of our muscles and our bodies. Remember, I like to also liken muscles to like our family. They're children inside of us. We've got to take care of them. They are our responsibility. So, oh, my light just went out. My light did not just go out. The flashlight just went out. So this is, take one, all right? Take one. So the body, if we get ourselves back into taking care of ourselves, then our body can have a quick turnaround. So, but it's going to be a process, and it's going to take some extra diligence, some extra attention, some extra time, and commitment in the beginning. And then you can sort of, the good news about the body is the muscles will then learn that, oh, Lisa's back online, or Tom is back online, meaning Tom, because muscles will tighten due to a traumatic event for them. So that can be sitting at your desk too long. That can be standing too long. That can be driving, in a car without getting out and stretching for too many hours, taking a plane ride. That's a traumatic event for these muscles because, again, they're like children. So if we're not getting up and stretching during a 3-hour car ride or a plane ride, then the muscles say, oh my God, Lisa's not online. Lisa's not paying attention. We're telling her, get up, stretch. We're sending her subtle little signals, but she's not paying attention. So the only choice we have to do is have a temper tantrum and spasm and cause her pain. So she actually does something. When we start taking care of our bodies on a regular basis, then the muscles say, don't worry, it's okay, guys. We don't have to spasm. We don't have to tighten. Because Lisa's back online, and Lisa will take care of us tonight. They have a knowing. Again, they're like people inside of us, our little children. And when they're feeling taken care of, then they will behave differently. Okay, so that's one question that to start us off, and I'll do a second question today, just because it's my first round. Maybe by episode 5 or 6, I'll be able to answer a whole bunch of questions. Here, this is a perfect one. So Lisa, my hamstrings are always tight, and I stretch them often, but still find them chronically tight. When you massage them, the most sore spots that I feel are at the back of my hip. Why is that? Okay, so muscles, again, they're like little people inside of us, and they also work as a team. So the hamstrings are attached to everybody overlaps in the muscles, okay? Everybody. That's all talk to like people. So your hamstrings is down to the back of your leg, right? Then there's your glutes, and then there's your low back muscles. So these guys actually all do a slight overlap. So one muscle is here, and the next muscle is here, but they have a little bit of an overlap where the tendons are at the spot where they attach to the bone. So the hamstring into the glute, and then the next one, if this is the glute, then on the other side. And then it overlaps a bit at attachment spots on the bones, where the muscles attach to the bones. So we will feel stuff in the leaves of a tree. So the tree has roots, and then has a trunk, and then has branches, and then has the leaves. So just like when we look at a tree, the first thing we see is the leaves. The body reacts the same way or behaves the same way. So what happens is we feel things at the leaves, not at the root of the problem. That's why massage is so important, because you're going to feel it in the hamstrings, the leaves. These are the hamstrings. But where the actual rooted problem is in the hip. So sitting on a plane, what's happening is if I'm sitting like this in my car or on a plane, okay, so the hamstring goes from the butt here to the other side of the knee, okay? So when I'm standing, that's a neutral, okay? As soon as I do this motion, the hamstring is opening, right? It's stretching, it's lengthening a little bit. So it's lengthened. So we have it in a stretched position, and we sit there for a long, long time. It's stretched. After 4 hours, it's going to go like this to us and clench up, so we stop that movement or that motion or that position. Stop doing that. So when the hamstrings are chronically tight, you're feeling it in the leaves, but the issue is in the glutes. So because the glutes are also going to protect, so the hamstring is here, muscles work as a team, hamstrings here, glutes are here. If the hamstring is feeling stressed out, the glutes then say, I got you, buddy, and then they clench up. And that's a rooted area, a root area, a core area. So when the glutes tighten up, then we experience that back pain. We don't experience, so that it's the glutes tightening up that experiences the back pain or the hamstring pain, but we feel it in the hamstring. We feel it in the low back. So if you have chronic tight hamstrings, I always like to say a joint below, a joint above. So stretch the hamstrings, but then also stretch the joint above and the joint below, so on either side. So got to stretch those glutes. So if your hamstrings are tight, stretch your glutes as well as stretch your hamstrings. But we got to start at the root. So that's my first episode. I'm going to keep it short and sweet. I appreciate you all for watching and for following me and liking my videos, subscribing to my videos. The more people that subscribe, the more people that like these videos, then the more people I can help. So that's episode 1 of Lighten Up Your Life with Lisa. I appreciate you all so much. Keep your questions coming. I'm honored and privileged to help you all. And please take a moment now, hit that subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, and let's take also another moment to breathe this in. Breathe this in. Take 2 minutes for yourself to just breathe. In and out. Integrating. In and out. Breathing. It's your life force. Without the breath, there is no life. The breath brings us into our bodies and out of our heads. It nourishes the body and then nourishes the mind, keeping us present. Breathe. 1 more minute. Just 1 more minute. Taking 2 minutes to remind yourself to breathe. We forget. And now we remember. Breathe. And please, remember, take your breath with you everywhere you go today. This is Lighten Up Your Life with Lisa podcast, episode 1.